Hello, my name is Ronald Messer. In the first vignette, taken from my book In Defense of Christianity, Volume 1, Freedom, I introduced the paradox of free will. In the second vignette, I presented what I called the three divine acts of freedom. In this vignette, I conclude with what I call the burden of free will. God has never taken away our agency. His purpose is to protect our freedom that we may, if we choose, reach our full potential and live eternally with Him. The gift is God's, but the choice is ours. We are now and ever will be a product of our desires. The body has freedom subjected to temporal laws, but only the spirit has free will, governed by spiritual laws. When Christ said, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," He was referring to law. Christ could have as easily said, "And ye shall know the law, and the law shall make you free." There is temporal truth or temporal law, and spiritual truth or spiritual law. We find temporal law in the discoveries of science. We find spiritual law in the Holy Scriptures. Only by obedience to the laws of God, whether temporal or spiritual, can we be entirely free. All laws were engineered to increase our freedom, including the freedom to obey or to disobey law. Otherwise, we could never reach our potential. Because all laws, temporal and spiritual, of this world have conditions, we are free to choose. By obeying temporal law, we have greater freedom on this earth. By obeying spiritual law, we draw down the powers of heaven, and if we endure to the end, we'll one day return to live with God, where we will be free forever. All laws require knowledge. Faith in science requires knowledge of temporal law. Faith in God requires knowledge of spiritual law. Think of law as truth. I'm reminded of John Keats' famous lines, "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know." The word beauty could be substituted with the word law. Law is truth, truth law. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know. The only thing that can allow free will to flourish is law. All freedom begins by protecting the will. All liberty begins by obeying the law. We should never, under any circumstances, relinquish our will to others, or to a cause, or to a crusade, or to a movement, no matter how noble. When we relinquish self, we give up who we really are and become automatons. We give the others the authority to make our moral decisions. No one should be our moral authority who cannot also be our eternal judge. God requires us to obey law because only law can set us free. We should never fall into the fallacy that the ends justify the means. Just as greater evil often comes out of evil, greater evil can just as easily come out of pretentious good, often through fanaticism or mindless devotion to a burning cause. Those who do evil will not be exonerated by the false front of cited good. They will be responsible for the evil that comes out of dissembling good. Our will is the one thing that we have that is our own. It can never be taken from us, but its freedoms may be forfeited as we disobey law. To give up one's will is the beginning of slavery. Many a fine painted chariot have carried the beguiled smilingly to everlasting captivity.